Hi, there's Life Prepper here, and I came across this article. It's called "The Biggest Lies and Myths About Preppers." Right here. Okay, right here. Now, the first one, of course, is talking about prepping is a fad. Saying it'll come, it'll go, just like some of these diets we try. The fact is, it's been around since the beginning of time when you think about it. And to prove the point here, this is what it says. While some people have been influenced by TV shows like Doomsday Preppers, the subject of prepping is far from a fad. Preparation is something that's been talked about as far back as early biblical times. The Bible is filled with many examples of prepping and even offers preparation advice. Example here is the story of Noah. He talks about it. It says in Genesis 6, uh, chapter 6, verse 21, you are to take every kind of food that is to be eaten and store it away for you and for them. So you've been told here, prep this up, get this prepared. This is what I'm telling you to do. And then there are other verses also in other parts of the Bible. Is Proverbs 27, 12. A prudent person foresees the danger ahead and takes precaution. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. Sometimes it's good to be a little bit on the chicken crap side, not to be so brave and just jump up in there and say, let's go, not think about it. But basically what it's saying is taking precautions means, maybe resting better, resting properly, carrying extra food, doing whatever it is. But a simpleton don't think about any of that. They don't think about having food to get them through for a few days. They don't think about maybe they need some clothes or extra blankets or anything like that. And that's basically what it is. That's basically what the whole deal is. Proverbs 21:20. In the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all he has. You go into the store, next time you go, I want you to start looking and think about it. When you get behind some of these people, we have become very codependent on society to give us assistance, and I've received it. If it hadn't been for that, there have probably been times I wouldn't have eaten at all, but I have had it rough, where I have had to go and get food just to survive and live on noodles and apples. But what you'll see is this buggy be full to help, and they're getting the best of everything, basically. I know some people pretty well got every food base there is on speed dial. They don't worry about it. They go in and they buy the steaks and all this other stuff, and when it's gone, they just go ask for food. They go ask for assistance, and that's what they do. They don't think about prepping and preparing. Instead of buying all those $20 steaks, set some of the money, set some of it aside to buy. Excuse me about that earlier. Buy maybe some extra beans or extra rice or extra something. Instead of buying all those TV dinners, get you some dry goods put up instead. Learn how to make a few meals or something. That's what they're basically talking about. That the simpleness just goes out ahead, and that's what's happened to so many of us. We're taking things for granted. Uh, Used to, you did good to go out to eat on Friday nights if that was a luxury when you did. But now it's an everyday thing. It's just general rule. We go get it, we eat it, it's done, it's good. But we have nothing in our cabinets. Something should happen. It says preppers are crazy. While the mainstream media likes to show the fringe in any movement, most preppers are far from crazy. While I wouldn't say we're normal, I also wouldn't call us crazy. I know I'm different, and it's not easy being different. I've always been different since day one of my life. For whatever reason, this I asked God when I was a child, why am I so different? I believe it's in order to keep going. I've learned to become stronger. Do I still have my days? Sure. But I learned from them. It says, what I consider normal in this country is to rely, and this one thing, he underlined this, rely on someone else to provide for you during an emergency. We have become so codependent and expect so much. Used to, back in the day, and more people's gotten away from it, is when they raised a garden. Didn't have to be a big one. It could be just a small garden. They put up their food. When the parents became too old to take care of themselves, they usually moved in with one of the children and stayed. It was nothing unusual in a household to have grandparents, parents, nieces, nephews. What it's nothing unusual for that back in a time because they had to help each other out and take care of things. That's just the way it was, and they all did their part. They didn't just sit there and play the video games. They didn't just sit there and stick mom and pa off in the corner somewhere and give them their meds. They didn't do that. Even mom and pa in their 80s or whatever was out there helping the best they could to take care of things, whether it was cooking or sewing or cleaning or helping in the garden. It didn't matter. Everybody pitched in and took care of one another. So, but times have changed. It's not like that anymore. I mean, it's just not. You can't. More and more older people are going to retirement homes. More and more older people are forced to work part-time jobs that cannot retire. More and more of the children are having to leave the states and go find jobs somewhere else. So it means more and more people are having to be on their own to try to take care of what they are taking care of. It says that if that's normal, I think I opt for being the oddball who is able to protect his family when the chaos of a natural or man-made disaster strikes. It says preppers are all anti-government. Well, first of all, I'm not anti-government. Uh, I don't agree with a lot of it, but I'm not going to sit here and preach gloom and doom about it all the time. It's just, I'm not in charge of the decisions there. Me fussing ain't going to help it any. All I can do is deal with what I can deal with now. And if something happens, then I have to deal with it then too. So, but what it says is preppers are all anti-government. Preppers come from a wide variety of backgrounds, pose a merit of different political beliefs, and can't be nicely fit into one category. In fact, one looks through some of the comments on this site will highlight the many different opinions that are out there. While many of us believe in a limited government, I don't think that necessity makes us anti-government. Most of us simply believe that we're responsible for our lives, our safety, and the protection of our family during a time of crisis. In a time of crisis that happens worldwide, SHTF worldwide, the soldiers cannot be everywhere to protect you. And it don't mean they're going to, because you're going to have chaos dealing with it. So you're going to have to be forced to depend on yourself and your family, all of y'all, to take care of one another in a situation like that till you get help. If it comes, you don't know. It says preppers are all preparing for doomsday. Now that's a bunch of hogwash right there. Forget about the sensational images you might see on TV shows, like doomsday preppers. The fact is, most preppers don't wake up planning for the apocalypse. I don't. In fact, most of us are preparing for relative common situations, such as natural and man-made disasters, economic and political problems, and everyday problems like a loss of employment. I often tell people preparation is not about the end of the world. It's about being ready for those moments in life that can feel like the end of the world if you're not prepared. If you have, I bring it up time talking about people who are got children that are sick, or your medications, or you got limited abilities, having some backup supplies to hold you over can make a difference. Having that extra month of meds can help you out. Having herbal medications and stuff as a backup in case you run out of the meds. Having food and supplies and alternative cooking things as a backup. This here is just preparing for disasters, natural disasters, even man-made. Because like I said, there's people when as long as 2 weeks without electricity. Many people wind up having to go and stay in churches. Many people had to go and stay in homemade shelters that was made up in the gyms of schools and things like that because they didn't have nowhere to go. It was so doggone cold or so doggone hot or whatever the reason was. No food, no water. They had to go and seek whatever kind of shelter uh, can do. Now, you can go back and check this. There were some comments. One of the guys says he totally believes in the government because his dad was a marshal. He believes they will be there and they will help us out in a time of need. I mean, he's totally supportive of it, and he could be very right. But they can't be everywhere. When you got this many people in the United States, 320 million, whatever. Let's say I like to round up 400 million, just be rounded up. Just saying you got that many people here in the United States, you don't have that many military people to cover one for each person. There's just no way. You don't have that many firemen. You don't have that many police officers. You don't have that many civil defense or in any other case. So there is times you are going to have to be responsible to take care of yourself. That's just how it's going to be until help comes. And then sometimes you might not be wanting that kind of help at all. You might decide you'd rather just tough it out and do it on your own instead of going to those places. It's up to you on that. Now, this, like I say, is the biggest lies and myths. Of course, prepping's been going on, being prepared since day one. You don't have to be a doomsday prepper to be a prepper. Just planning for basic everyday stuff, everything stocked up ahead and everything, and take care of your family and yourself. It's just something you can do every day. It's just, you just have to change a few habits. So, like I said, not all preppers are crazy. There is some that's rather centric. They live in underground bunkers. They've isolated themselves off to the point that they've come so wrapped up in their prepping, and there's the scenarios that they have lost a lot of their common sense, as you want to put it. Not saying they're wrong, because it could very well happen, but nonetheless, it's like I say, most of it's just down to earth, just everyday stuff. And like I said, it's just, and not all preppers are anti-government. I just don't worry about voting anymore. Not saying I won't ever again. I just not impressed anymore. I just feel that they're going to do whatever they're going to do. It just don't matter. People says your vote counts. You need to be involved in it. I wouldn't want to be a politician. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't want to put all that on my plate to have to make decisions on what is right and what is wrong and who gets this and who gets that. I wouldn't want that task. I mean, on something like that, if the situation come down to it and I was involved in a community and I had to become in charge of this community and make certain things was done within that group, I think I could. That is different. That's not politics. That's just taking care of one another. That's survival. That's needs. But that's taking care of a group on a small scale. It's not like taking care of being responsible over an entire state of people, being responsible over the entire country. I don't want none of that. I don't think I can handle dealing with that because that's not my thing. I think I'm more of a small hill person on my deal. So this here, like I said, just the biggest lies and myths about preppers. And you can go to the site. You can pull this up. You check out the comments, reviews, and read it more detail, and do some research. This is a live prepper here. I want you to be safe, be happy,